Hello, what is up everyone? Welcome to the first video posted on this channel. I'm super excited to start posting coding content and I hope you guys enjoy. So what do we have for today? Today I am starting a series called Let's Make a Game Engine. Now if you've ever wanted to make a game engine or you've been interested in how game engines work like Unity, Unreal, Godot, or you're one of them coders who really wants to take a deep step inside of everything, dive into it, learn everything you can, then you've come to the right place. This series is going to be basically us making a game engine together. I want to get feedback from you, I want to get your ideas, and I want everyone to collaborate on the project. It's going to be fully open source, and hopefully it can be a great learning experience, not just for you, but for me too, as the more I practice, the better I'll get. So I'm going to move over to the computer right now and I'm going to jump right to it. I'm going to explain my goals and ideas for the engine in this project and see where it takes us. So I'm just going to draw out a little diagram of what I envision this project to be. So game engines. And excuse my handwriting, I'm learning how to use this drawing tablet and it's a little hard. So let's identify a few things that game engines have in common. Let's start with what they can do. So game engines need to be able to open windows. Okay, sorry about that. I had some technical difficulties with the tablet. Let's jump right back in. What do game engines have to do? So we got to take care of a few things, a few of the main things, and I'm going to really simplify it here. We have to be able to open a window. We need to be able to draw graphics. And we need to be able to handle input. Handle input. After we tackle handle input, what else does a game engine need to do? So let's really think about it. In a traditional game engine like Unity or Unreal, you might think, okay, we need a big editor and asset loading, resource management, and things like that. For now, I'm not going to really look at that far ahead into the future. For now, I'm going to make the engine more like a library, and hopefully we can build some GUI elements on top of it. But for now, I'm going to think as if this is just a C, C++ library. Oh, and by the way, if you didn't see in the title, we're going to be doing this in C and C++. And I put the C here because sometimes I prefer writing C code, and depending on where I want to take this project, the code base might have some files written in C or the majority of them, who knows. So back to what we're doing. We got to open the window, draw graphics, handle input, and what else? We have to run game logic. So we need to be able to see what entities on the screen, draw the entity, physics on the entity, what's the health of the enemy, blah blah blah. Main menus need to have gameplay code, things like that. So we got to have a way to run gameplay code, and I'm going to say this consists of, physics, and we'll just put an etc. Entity component system, blah blah blah. Now, what else? Open window, draw graphics, handle input, run gameplay code. That's pretty good. I'd say that's these four things in a little basic library or engine. It's pretty much all you need to be able to do. So for now, I'm gonna keep it like this. This is our goal. Well, not our goal, but this is what we're gonna be up to. So, what next? So, now I want to talk about the structure of this engine. Here's how I envision it. We will have a static library. Static core. We'll have a core library or a foundational library. And in here, we will have our entry, some platform code, and things like memory management, and like platform detection. Basically, this foundational library will be where we can make projects using this foundational library, if you would say. You won't need to use everything in it, and some things might completely be useless to whatever you're making, but this way we can have a way to make command line applications and other types of applications. So what will this static library connect to? It will connect to a host exe. So here, we're just going to kick off the entry point. And now the main engine is going to be in something like a DLL. So we can load in these DLL functions, run it on the host, and how it will work is there will be an application layer that will go between the host and the DLL. And then from the host, we will be able to hot reload a game code DLL. So let's run through this again. We have a static library that we can have multiple projects from. So this static library will most likely be used in the DLL, in the host.exe, and in the game code. But the good thing about this static library is it will only be, I don't want to say interface, but it'll only be functions. We won't have any state in here that gets stored and might crash if we have 3 different versions in each of our projects. That's why we are running the engine as a DLL, so we can use one version of all the DLL functions and memory, whatever, and use it between this game code and the host exe at the same time. So like a memory allocator will go in all 3 of these, and it'll be the same allocator for all of them. This could change. We could have different things going on from this DLL and host exe. We could have plugins. We could have a plugin system where everything is plugin based and you can hot reload everything. There's a lot of ways we could take this. Now, after knowing the structure of our program, let's talk about some things we know we're going to do. So, graphics. What am I going to support? So, some people may say we need to support OpenGL, even though it's old. We are not going to be supporting OpenGL. We are going to try to support D3D11, D3D12, and Apple Metal. These are the 3 we will try to support at first, and then eventually we will try to add Vulkan support. Now I know you're looking at this and you're realizing Linux users may not be able to follow along. Most of the things we do can be ported to Linux, and the graphic system will be made in a way that I think porting to Vulkan won't be the hardest thing in the world. We'll tackle it, but we are going to start with D3D11 and or D3D12 Don't know which one or if we're going to do both yet, but this is where I'm going to start our graphics layer. How I envision this to work is we will have, let me erase this. We will have an abstraction. And in this abstraction, I'll do it top down. We're going to have a big, huge thing called our backend. Okay, so the backend will be API specific. And what I envision is all synchronization is going to be handled by the backend, and the user won't need to type synchronization code. I spelled this so wrong. Okay, let's erase this. Okay, my spelling is terrible today, but anyway, synchronization handled at backend. So what will the backend allow us to do? We will create buffers, textures, shaders, pipelines, and other GPU resources. So our backend will let us create buffers, textures, shaders, pipelines, and all our other graphics card resources or GPU resources. And it will handle, submission, commands. Is that it? Submission and commands. Yeah. So it will also handle the submission of our render packets, our render passes, and the commands. This is a very high level overview of what the backend is going to do, but this is the general idea. And of course, this will grow as we go along. After the backend, we'll have the front end, where we will have a renderer and a 2D version of this. Then they will talk to each other. So you'll run this, and that will run this also. Let me go back on that. Okay. So the renderer will run through everything it needs to render, and that will also run through everything that the 2D renderer needs to render. And for now, I think we're going to have basic 3D and advanced 2D. That's what I'm going to say our plan is for now. So that is the renderer front end. Now, so that is the plan for our engine and for the series. I'm going to try to put out as much content as possible and really work on this engine as much as I can. I hope I can get feedback from you guys, what you want to see in the engine, if you want to change parts of these plan, what you would do. And hopefully we can just build a great open source game engine that's great for learning, and we can watch the whole development unfold in real time. Thanks for watching.